Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, July the 19th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 81. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about all my cross stitch. And if you are returning to my channel, I'd like to welcome you back. Thanks so much for watching and following along and giving me all the encouragement to get my crap done. I have a lot to show. I'm excited. I'm excited today. So, I have 7 projects to show you. Here's my board. See if I can get it without the ring light. Here's my board. So I have 7 projects to show you. And I got a decent amount of stitching done on just about all the things I worked on. A couple of them were less than 500, but that's okay. That's okay. On this board here, I have 2 more finishes. I have 2 more finishes. Holy cow. Yeah, so we have a lot of updating to do too. So there was my board. I'm gonna show you my 2 finishes. I'm gonna show you my whips. We are going to update my big board. We are also going to update my little board that I've been tracking my stitches on for the 2 sals and the whip of shame that I have not done in a hot minute. And we are going to also update my board that at the beginning of the year that had like where I would write my finishes down and where I was kind of tracking where I was at regarding the the challenge piece and the sal that I was tracking separate from everything else. I still have that board, so we're gonna go ahead and update that because somebody specifically asked me about that board, and I was like, oh, I should probably pull that thing back out. And we are also going to pull replacement projects for the things that I'm going to be crossing off my big board. And we're going to pull 2 candidates for the Whip of Shame for August. And if this is your first time seeing me, I will go over that in a little bit. Okay, so I have stuff everywhere. Where do I start? Okay, I think my finish, is this one? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna show you is one of my finishes. This is from the Calendar Girl series from, who's it from? Little House Needleworks. Yeah. So this is from the Calendar Girl series from Little House Needleworks, June. And this was from, I think, 2014. And I am stitching, I want to do all of them, and August is already done. That was one of my finishes from a couple weeks ago. She's not ironed, so she's folded. Here is June. I am stitching them all on a 32 count Legacy Lugana. Yes, 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the called for DMC, and I am doing them 2/2, which is 2 strands over 2 fabric threads, 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. I did, let me bring this over here, 992 stitches to get her finished off. Isn't she adorable? Let's just admire her for a second. I think she is probably my favorite one because I love the color purple and I really like how she turned out. I think she is my favorite one. So, like I said, I want to do all of them. I don't have all of them started, but this is my second one that I have finished. So I have 2 out of 12 done because they have 1 for every month. So there's her. I'm keeping them all in one bag together. Okay. And then my other finish Finish number 2 is from Stitching Bear. Chocolate doesn't ask silly questions, chocolate understands. And I think I had to work on this one I had to work on this one 2 days to get this done. I did this on a 32 count lavender Lugana. Zweigart maybe? I don't know. It was like a scrap. It was like one of those, where did I get it? I think it was like somebody was shutting down their shop, and so they had their stuff on clearance, and I just bought it because it was cheap, and then I found a project to fit on it. So I'm gonna hold it back here because the color of the fabric gets really washed out when I bring it up close, but that's what it looks like. Now let me bring it in closer. See what I mean? It goes like gray almost. Oh, well, if I hold it right here, you can see it pretty good. So I did, because I counted the beads and the buttons as like stitches for every like 1 or 2 that I did. So it was a total of 820 because of the buttons and the beads. So it's probably closer to 800 actual stitches. But yeah, so there's some beads there on the piece of cake. That was my first time ever putting beads on something, so they're probably very uneven. Well, they are uneven, I can see it with my own eyeballs, but that's not too bad though. And then 5 buttons right there, 3 here at the bottom, and then 2 up here by the strawberry. So see, it looks better when it's back farther because that light really washes that purple out when it's brought in closer. I was showing my coworkers at work a picture of this, and I was like, you know, I really need to bring this in so you can see it in person because pictures do not do this thing justice. And the thread, hate this thread. It was I don't know why they picked this thread to do, because it was stitched, the sample was stitched on a 28 count milk chocolate linen. And I don't think it would have been any better because this was a 32 count. It was just one size like higher. But the thread for the words was oh my God, Watercolors by Karen in the color Black Cherry. And I have Water Lilies by Karen, and it's a completely different floss. Watercolors, which I looked it up because I was like, I feel like I bought the wrong floss, but no, this was the right stuff. And it's like a yarn. Stop focusing on me. So when you pull it off, it's 3-ply. And so you just so this is the thickness of one strand that you're stitching with. Stop focusing on me. And it was a pain in the ass. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Like, it was a pain in the ass even threading the needle. But I liked the color. It's like a mixture of purples, like purple to brown is what the color to gray. And so it looks really good on here, but it's hard to see on camera because when I try to bring it in, all the colors get really washed out. And then you can't really see the color, the variegation when it's held way back here. So you can just take my word on it that it looks really good because it does. But I will not ever, if I ever come across a pattern that uses the Watercolors by Karen, I will substitute it for something else. I will never use this floss again. It was horrible. I did not like it at all. So let me put this back in the bag for right now. So there was finish number 2. And Next up, I'm going to show you my whip of shame for the month of July. This is an old, so my whip of shame, if you've never seen my channel, a couple months ago, I decided to start doing a whip of shame where I take one of my really old whips and I do 100 stitches a day for the month. So this was my pick. I was able to get a finish. I did not finish the one for May because it was a big kit that didn't really have hardly anything done on it. So I just put a bunch of stitches on it. June, I was able to finish that one. This one is Bless This Nest. It's an old kit from Busilla. I got it, I thought I got it in earlier than I had, but I think I bought it in like 2014. I mean, it's still 10 years old. So I keep thinking, oh, 2014, that wasn't that long ago. No, it was 10 years ago. So this is where it was the last time you saw it. I've gotten 889 stitches on it this week. And this is where it's at now. And let me kind of hold it. I'm going to try to see if I can maybe put the before picture right here. I don't know. I probably already ended the before picture, but I worked, as you can see, I filled in up here some and up here. I worked mostly up in this area, and then I think I filled in a little bit down here. I don't think I really worked down here at all. I think I kind of left this alone, and I was working mainly up in this area. And I also backstitched these leaves because the empty spaces were driving me crazy because it needed backstitching over. And then this empty space right here, there's more backstitching that kind of goes like around the border, but that will kind of carry over. But I need to fill this in before I can backstitch the border part here. So that's why that's still blank, but I got those leaves right there backstitched. But yeah, this is where I'm at with it so far. I still have like 2 weeks left to work on this thing. I was hoping it would be a finish, but it's not gonna be. There's no way in hell this will be a finish by the end of the month. We'll see where I'm at the end of next week. If I think it's even close to being a finish, maybe I'll just kind of focus on it to get it finished. I don't know. But 889 stitches on this. Let me put this back over here. I'll put it right there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to show you is a new start, and this is from Ink Circles. Ooh, someone commented on how to say this too. Clouds over Verlandy, I think it is, from Ink Circles. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am stitching this in the DMC conversion. I do not have the silks. I am too broke for that, to be ordering a crap ton of silk for one project. But I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana in the color Doubloon from Picture This Plus. And I got 359 stitches on it. I'll show you what my start, and then I'll show you the fabric, because the fabric looks really good, and I might have to order more for something else. I ended up, so 359 stitches. I got the A, the B, I did the cloud over the A, this border right here, and the O, because if you've seen me, you know how I am. I get bored with stuff, so I was trying to get it to where if I could get my way working down, I could kind of bounce back and forth. Let me take this out of the bag so it's not glare. It's not glare. There's not glare. So I did the A and the B and this cloud here and a little bit of this dividing border and the O. So what I'm wanting to do is the next time I pull this out, I might try to get this P done right here so I can go down here and start on this, because I'd like to be able to kind of work, as I work on this in the future, you know, work on something down here and then come up here and work on something down here and come up here, because I will get very bored of that alphabet that I did not realize was there when I bought the pattern. I didn't realize it until I went to actually stitch on it. I was like, oh, there's an alphabet at the top. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with it so far. Like I said, 359 stitches. I thought I missed a stitch. I didn't. It was just that in the cloud up here, I thought that was missing a stitch. It's not. It's that color right there, just one stitch in. But here's the fabric. Isn't that cool looking? I love it. I really like this fabric a lot. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I don't remember now. Oh, I did, now I remember. I did a corner start. I gave myself about a 3-inch border, and I did a corner start instead of a center start because when I mapped it out, when I recalculated, I do not need all of this fabric for this piece. So I wanted to give myself a 3-inch border and work this piece and then cut the excess. I don't want to cut it yet because I'm paranoid that I'm going to fuck it up. But when I get done, I'll cut the excess off and I'll be able to use this bottom part for like small pieces of something else. But you know, I'm just like, I don't know. In the end, I might end up just going ahead and cutting off what I don't need, but I'm worried that I'm going to miscalculate and cut it too short, and then I'm going to be big mad when I knew that I had enough fabric and I just cut it short because I was being an idiot and didn't map it right. But it's okay because I don't have anything small that I'm like dying to stitch on this fabric. So it's not like it's waiting in the wings for me to start because I'm scared to cut fabric until I'm done. Which at the rate I stitch a lot, but the way I rotate through my projects, it's gonna take me forever. Okay. Next up is from Heaven and Earth Designs. There's my, sorry. And this is Birdhouse Gardens. If I keep coughing, I'm gonna have to stop and get a drink. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. My throat is so dry. I'll be right back. Okay, went and got a beverage. I think I'm okay now. All right, next up is Birdhouse Gardens from Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, artworks by Ciro Marchetti, or however you say his name. I've heard it pronounced like 4 different ways. It's 600 by 420. It's regular size, regular color. It has 90 colors. That is what it's gonna look like when it's done. God, I really love this piece. And I am converting this to a diagonal. Let me think of what I'm trying to do here. Converting it to a diagonal. I only was able to get 300 stitches on it because I did not get started stitching on this until really late. But I'm doing this on a 20 count, easy count Aida, 2 strands of floss, full cross. So, I mean, it's Aida, so it's over 1, but 2 strands, full cross. And this is where I'm at with it so far. Oh my God. There we go. This is where I'm at with it so far. So I was able to basically get the rest of this diagonal filled in. It was mostly filled in last time you saw it. So I finished filling this diagonal in, got this one completed, and then I started up here. This was already mostly all stitched, this part. So I think it's like 2 more diagonals before this becomes a true diagonal stitch where there's like no extra crap in there already. But yeah, so I got 300 stitches on it this week. And so I have a total now of 5,950 stitches completed out of 252,000. I am at 2.36% done. So I really love the colors in this a lot. If things look a little dark, I said this last time, I think, and it ended up not being as dark as I thought it was going to be, but if things look a little dark, sorry. It feels like it's dark, but then last week when I kind of went to edit and play it back and stuff, it was not as dark as I thought it was going to be. So anyway, next up. Okay, I was just making sure before I got to these two. Hi, Gracie. Okay, next up is my my sal that I'm doing from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a closed sal, so you can no longer join it. We had an option to pick from 10 different projects. They were all pretty small crops of larger pieces. They all averaged about 60,000 to 61,500 stitches. So they were all about the same amount of stitches. So we had 10 projects to pick from. I chose Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 2, a crop of Merry Mushroom Village Picnic. Artwork is by Amy Stewart, 300 by 205. It has 90 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And if we finish 4 pages by the end of the year, we get all the sal charts that were made available. And if we complete the piece by the end of the year, then we get all of those charts plus 2 free charts of our choice off of the website. I have never stayed caught up with the sal, and I have never completed a full coverage piece. So of course, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to finish this stupid thing. Even though I've never actually stayed caught up with a sal or finished a full coverage, I'm trying to finish this small full coverage sal. So this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And I did 1,750 stitches. I'm doing it 2/1 10th stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana. And this is where I'm at with it now. 3 parts have been released, parts 1, 2, and 3. And so out of those 3 parts, so it's a total of 61,500 stitches. And but parts 1, 2, and 3 right now have 58,860 stitches. So of that, I feel like I'm just saying a bunch of numbers that make no sense. I've done 1,750 stitches this week, and I've done a total of 30,740 stitches. Of parts 1, 2, and 3, I am at 52.23% done. Of the entire piece, I am 10 stitches away from being 50% done. Just 10 stitches and I would be officially 50% done. I'm still technically behind. I'm not stressing it though. It's okay. I'm gonna get caught back up. I will, because I want the free stuff. I got talked into this because of Alara and a few other people, I think, but she was the main one who talked me into this. Thanks, Alara. And I'm determined to get this thing done. I am. Even if I have to make it a focus piece and work on it like every other day for like a month, I'll get it done. It's gonna happen. So, moving on. I feel like it got really dark in here. Let me try opening the blinds. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Let me try opening these blinds. Did that help? Not really. Okay, anyway. Okay, last thing I'm gonna show you is my challenge piece I'm doing with Alara. And we each picked a project of our own. I chose to do 25,000 stitches on. Originally, we were going to do 25,000 stitches in 25 weeks, 1,000 stitches per week. And we were 25K in 25 weeks. Life happened. She had crap going on. I had a big move. And so we decided to just make it 25,000. We decided to cut down, take away the deadline, and we just want to get 25,000 stitches done by the end of the year. I am well on my way to doing that. Anyway, the piece I chose is Honeymoon Sunset. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And it is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. It is simply gorgeous. And I have enabled so many people to start this thing. Sorry, not sorry. And I have done 1,200 stitches on this since the last time you saw it. I will show the whole piece in a little bit because people love seeing it. But I am converting this into a diagonal. I'm doing a 2/110 stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And I'm doing my diagonals from the right hand side of the chart to the left hand side of the chart. Because I have a hair. When I do tent stitches, I do my bottom leg as my stitch because it's too much effort to remember to do top. Because when I do my stitches, my bottom leg goes from bottom left to top right, and then my top leg goes bottom right to top left. So, and it's too much effort to, because some people are like, oh, well, if it's tent stitch, you have to have it as your top leg. No, you don't. You can, if you're doing a whole piece as tent stitch, you can do it however you want. And honestly, if it's a blend of full cross and tent stitch, I do my tent stitch with my bottom leg. So it's going in the opposite direction of how the full cross looks. And it don't matter. Anyway, so I decided to, so before I show you real quick, because I say this every week, but not everybody watches every single one of the videos. So I kind of want to say this so when you see it, it makes sense. In the past, I've done diagonal stitching where my diagonals go from the top, because I like to go top down when I do diagonals, right? So my diagonals, as you saw in Birdhouse Gardens, are from the top left and they're going this way. But when I was noticing when I was doing it in tent stitch, I was starting to get lines. So I stopped and I started doing it in cross country and, you know, all this other, I was trying all these different methods, trying to figure out how besides cross country, I could stitch this methodically without getting lines. And then I had a brainstorm and I was like, what if I do, it is getting darker in here because now I've got shadows on me. It's whatever. I had a brainstorm and I was like, what if I did my diagonals, because I do my stitches this way, because I figured it was from tension, right? And pulling and stuff, like if I'm doing my stitches this way and my diagonals are going this way, you know, maybe it's tension lines that I'm getting. So I was like, well, what if I do my stitches this way, but my diagonals are going this way? I wonder if that would make a difference. So far, it seems to be working because I'm not seeing any lines on my diagonals. So I'm super excited. Okay, now I can actually show you the piece. Okay, so this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And like I said, I did 1,200 stitches on it. And this is where it's at now. I got the diagonal completed right here. And you'll see the whole thing in a few minutes, but if you've never seen it before, I've stitched here, there, and everywhere, so I've got stitches everywhere. So I didn't do a full diagonal. It ended like right up here where all this stitching already was. But look at, so tight. Look at that. God, that looks good with that diagonal like that, huh? Ah. And it has, like, this has always been my favorite piece, but this has sparked a desire to continue working on this like hardcore. Like I am really loving this piece even more now because I'm just so excited with how this is turning out. Like, oh God, that looks good, right? Man, God, that looks great. So I'll be starting on my next diagonal when I pull this out again. So I did 1,200 stitches. I have a total. Let me tell you my numbers real quick and then I'll show you the piece because it's really big. Now I have to burp. Excuse me. All right. I have done 191,263 stitches out of 563,981. I am at 33.91% done. The next time I work on this, I mathed it. I calculated how much it would take to get to 34%. And I will hit it the next time I work on it because 34% is only going to be another 563 stitches. Okay, here's the whole thing. I'm gonna back up so you can see the whole thing, and then I'll kind of bring it in a little bit closer. But here's the whole thing that I have so far. Let me see. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference if I get rid of these parts. Well, let me do it like this. So here's the whole thing, right? And then I'll kind of come up closer. Here's the tree from hell. And as you can see, I have literally stitched, I parked threads over here. I have stitched all over the place. There's a sailboat coming in right there. Stitched across the entire top. Here's the top of the lighthouse. Here's my diagonal. There's a gazebo coming in here. And then this bottom corner here. And then right in here, this blue right here is the start of the house that's next to the lighthouse. But yeah. So 33.91%. I had estimated at the beginning of the year, I was estimating that I would be at 34.5% by the time this challenge was done. I wasn't 100% sure. So we'll see. I mean, I'm at 33.91 now, and I still have a few thousand stitches to go. So I might have been accurate. I might have called it. So, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do a plans video, but not right now. I'm probably gonna do it later this year when everybody is talking about their plans for 2025. What year are we? 2024. The plans for 2025. I don't really want to do it just yet because I'm still kind of trying to fine tune and make some adjustments to these plans that I might break. But just a quick brief rundown. I'm gonna kind of step back from the super large amount of whips that I have, and I'm going to kind of do a more hardcore focus on a condensed number of whips. And basically about half of my whips are going to be whips of my own. Instead of pulling everything out of a basket and be random, about half the whips, and I'll go over this in a separate video at a later date, but right now about half of my whips are going to be whips of my own choosing that I'm like, I definitely want to work on this and this and this. And then the other half will be random draws. And last night I was thinking about it. I think I can think of a few other, because I'm going to do like 20 full coverage pieces and 20 non-full coverage pieces. And so it would be 10 full coverages of my own choice that I really want to work on. And right now what I'm thinking about is Honeymoon Sunset for sure. Birdhouse Gardens, because I'm really loving that piece. And then I think I might do Hiding Place and Fairy Tale Cottage. Like, I haven't worked on either one of those yet this year, so if you don't know what they are, you're gonna have no clue what I'm talking about. But I will, but I definitely want to keep Honeymoon Sunset out. Like before, I'm like, I cannot wait for this thing to go away for a little bit, but now I really want to work on it because I'm loving how it's turning out with these diagonals. And then birdhouse gardens too, because I'm really loving that piece. Okay, so I'll do a plans video in a few months when it gets to be more fall, because I know that some people really like hearing about plans from other people so that they can get some ideas of what they want to do. And I want to do it early enough to where you don't hear it and you're like, wow, that's a really great idea. I want to take something from that and use it. And it's like so late in the year that you're scrambling to figure out how you're going to do it too. So I'm probably going to do a plans video maybe in like November. And then in December, I'll probably do, I got to try to time it. I have to look at my calendar because I'm going to film my end of year whip parade. But I also need to film what the projects are going to be. So I'll show you the projects in December, but November is probably, end of November is probably when I'm going to put out that plans video. So that if there's something of that you want to use, any or all of it, you have plenty of time to figure out how you want to incorporate any of those ideas into your plans for next year. I'm thinking of you guys. Okay, so let's update this. So what I did was I went ahead and as of last week, I went ahead and did all the numbers that were for these 3 pieces as of last week. And so we're going to add in the stitches from this week. So Bless This Nest was at $13.19 for the month. And I thought I brought my little paper towel eraser. I'll just use the eraser off of this marker. $13.19, adding 300, no, oh God. Hang on, I need my calculator. Okay. You'd think I would have done this before the video, but no. $13.19 plus $8.89. So we are now at, oh my God, that's terrible handwriting, 2,208 stitches for the month of July so far. The Hayed Sow, these 2 numbers here are how many stitches I have left in the piece, not how many I have done. So the Hayed Sow, for the entire piece, I needed 32,511 stitches. Let me subtract the 1,750 that I've done this week. I might try to work on the Hayed Sow 2 days this week to get it caught back up. So I now need 30,761 stitches to get that done. And then Honeymoon Sunset, I only need 4,204 stitches to finish my challenge. And I've done 1,200, so I am down to 3,004. And then hi Gracie. And that challenge will be done. Ow, ow. Okay. Like I said, we got a lot of updating to do. Where's my Blue's Clues marker? Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to update this board here. Okay, so I haven't done this in a while, So we're just going to, I have about 3,000 stitches left for Honeymoon Sunset. So these blocks here were 1 block for every 1,000 stitches. So I'm just gonna fill in right here. I need to be better about this. I'm gonna leave 3 boxes. Woo, I almost filled that in. So I only have 3 boxes left to fill in for the Honeymoon Sunset Challenge. Isn't that exciting? Okay. Let me do it like this. Scroll down here. Okay. Real quick, let me just do some quick math. I've done, clear. For the Haid Sal, I've done a total of 30,740. Did I say that before? How many total stitches I had done? I don't know if I did. No, I did, because I said I was 10 stitches away from 50%. So we're going to divide this by 1,200, because on the Haid Sal boxes, I was saying that I needed 1,200 stitches a week to finish the challenge by the end of the year. So these boxes represent 1,200 stitches. So it's 25.6 boxes that need to be filled in. So I'm gonna do 25 boxes and fill in half of one. So 1, 2, 3. Of course I couldn't have put these boxes so it was easy to count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 boxes have been filled in. So let me fill in number 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Let me just double check myself because it's marker. I can't go back. 25. And then we're going to fill in half of this box. So what I'll do is next week I'm going to fill in, say next week I only do 1,200 stitches, I'm going to fill in one of this box here, but if I do 1,800, then I'll fill this in. So basically half of a box represents 600 stitches. So there's that. Okay, next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna update my finish. So, okay, if you did not see my whip parade at the end of at the end of last year, I had very big hopes and dreams. I was showing, so my whip parade was 5 parts long. If you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to. From the end of 2023, I showed, it was 5 parts because I showed all of my whips and all of my potential new starts. And when I was showing everything, I was like, I want to finish this. I want to finish this. I was calling finishes left and right for a total of 135 pieces that I wanted to finish. This coming from the person who thought it was really big that I finished 15 pieces last year. And I was like, yeah, I want to finish 135 projects. So far, when I was tracking this, I had 2 finishes. I had the Year of Gnomes May and Lighthouse Bookmark. We're going to add in, I'm not going to put this in the order that I finished them because I really don't remember, but we're going to add in the finishes that I've shown over the past 3 weeks. One was Hedgehog. So after I had all this written out, I realized how insane this was. And so I was like, I put a blue arrow over here. I said, let's shoot for maybe 20 finishes. I wanted to push myself to finish more than I did last year. So really, I'm aiming for 20 finishes. So Hedgehog, which I've shown these ones in previous videos. Calendar Girls August, not the one I just showed you. Cuddly Bear Quilt. That was my whip of shame for the month of June. those were the 3 I finished 1 week. And then I feel like I had, no, I had forgotten about it. So I thought I had 7 finishes. I really actually have 8 because I completely forgot that I had finished Lighthouse Bookmark. And then was it last week? One of the weeks I finished, yeah, I think it was last week. Bookmark Books. And so let me add these 2, my next 2 finishes. It was Calendar Girls June, and what was it? Chocolate Understands. Chocolate Understands. So I have 8 finishes so far this year. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I almost kept going. I was getting all kinds of excited about filling these blocks in. So 8 finishes so far this year. We're gonna shoot for 20. We'll see how it goes. Okay, now time to update my other board. So this board here is what Jesus Christ, I can't get it past my chest. There we go. This board here is, oh my God, I'm falling apart. All right, you guys go back in there. This board is what I have. So I have summer projects on here, but I'm changing something about this, so you'll find out here in a few minutes. But this is what my current WIP list is. I can't even see, but what I have is I want to work on everything that's in my thing twice, and once it's worked on twice, it's going to be put away, and a replacement project is going to be brought out to replace it. So I had it originally in alphabetical order, but then I've added some replacement pieces on here that you can no longer see. I've had 3 replacement projects added on. So I'm just tacking them on to the end there. Okay, so let's go ahead and update this. So Birdhouse Gardens, I'm struggling. Put this here. Put this over here. Okay. Birdhouse Gardens. I have now worked on this thing twice. As much as I love it, it's going to go away. So we are going to cross it off. Oh, it's right in the fold of the board. We're going to cross that off. There we go. So there's one. Calendar Girls June, I've worked on it twice, but it was actually a finish anyway. So what I had said, so we're going to cross this off. Ooh, I might have to bust out my other marker. I think this one's getting dried out. And then Chocolate Understands, that's been worked on twice and it was a finish. Oh dear. There we go. So what I've said before is I want to work on it twice, and then it's going to be put away and set aside so I can pull something else out to work on it. However, I'm going to make an exception, and if I think that I could get it done if I worked on it one more time, a third time, then I'll go ahead and just add a box and work on it one more time to get a finish out of it. Okay, so I need to pull 3 replacement projects. Okay. Before I do that, I'm also going to pull, this basket here has my current contenders for the Whips of Shame. My Whips of Shame I feel like I should. Okay, let me do the whip of shame first. Okay, so if you have not seen me before, you're missing out. And you should stick around. But the whip of shame, what I decided back in May was that I really needed to try to do a little bit of focus on some of these really old projects that I have, because I've had some pieces. My oldest one I was able to finish in June. I was very excited about it. But my oldest piece was from 1994. That was before some of you guys were even born. But, which makes me feel really old. But I decided that I would have one of my really old whips kind of be a focus piece where I work on 100 stitches a day for that month. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to get y'all's votes on which one should be the whips of shame. I picked the one, you guys picked the one for June. That was Cuddly Bear Quilt. I spur of the moment, so maybe we'll do it this way the rest of the year, maybe. Spur of the moment in May, I decided was when I decided to do the whip of shame, because I had a really old kit that I had pulled that very first week of May. And so I kind of picked that. And then you guys picked the one for June. And then when I pulled the two contenders for July, I thought maybe Bless This Nest could be a finish, maybe. So I kind of was like, you know what, forget it. We're going to do this one. But August, I pulled it so close to the end of the month that it didn't really give you guys time to vote. So we're going to pull two contenders for the whip of shame for the month of August. And I want y'all's votes as to which one I do. So the first one up is Magnificent Wizard, which was actually the one, I feel like I didn't mix these up properly. All right, Magnificent Wizard. And then the other one, because that was the other contender for July. So that's why I'm like, did I mix this up properly? The other one is Once Upon a Time. So I'm gonna pull those out so I can show you what they look like in a minute. Neither one of them are gonna be finishes. I can tell you right now, because I know exactly which ones they are. Neither one of them are gonna be finishes. Okay. So I'm also going to pull the 3 replacement pieces out of a basket. And then I'm gonna pause the video, pull all that stuff out so I can show you what they all look like. And then we will pull my projects for the upcoming week for stitching. So I decided, okay, my original plan was to do try out seasonal stitching. And I like it. Hang on, I need my beverage. Hang on one second. I like the seasonal stitching, but the idea I have for 2025, I like more. So I really want to do my 2025 plans starting in January. And so my plans for this year were to, because I came up with the seasonal thing like in February, very beginning of March. And I was like, well, this is perfect because March starts spring. So I started doing spring stitching, and then I'm doing summer stitching right now. And then I realized that if I wanted to do these plans in 2025, my winter stitching would get severely shortchanged because I would only work on it in the month of December. And I have a lot of winter whips. A lot, like over 70. So what I decided to do was, instead of changing all my whips out for the month starting in September when the fall would start, I just threw in all of, I have, because my basket, my replacement basket is all of my non-seasonal pieces. And so as I finish a piece, I would pull a replacement of a non-seasonal piece to be added to the list. What I decided to do was, I have all of my non-seasonal pieces. I went ahead and threw in all of my autumn and my winter whipped pieces in here, plus any spring pieces that I did not touch at all. And we're just gonna kind of keep a running tally on my big board here. We'll just kind of keep this going. And then as that board, if that board fills up, we'll have to kind of play it by ear, depending on if and when. I don't think that board's gonna get filled up because I don't think the board's gonna get filled. So I still have that whole thing plus that whole thing. So on the off chance that this board does fill up, I'll just add it onto that board that I'm tracking the sals and the finishes on. I'll just add it to that board. So I need to pull 3 replacements. So I have a crap ton of options in here to pick from. So the first replacement piece, okay, and also I was trying to print what needed to be printed, but my printer was messed up. I think it's because of the internet thing that's been going on. Some kind of weird internet outage. Because my computer's not connecting to my printer to print out what I wanted to print. So I just took I still had my slips of paper from last year. I just went ahead and dumped them all in here. So if I pull a slip that should not be on this list, I will set it aside and just pull a different one. Okay, so the first replacement piece is going to be Coffee Gnome. Number 2 is, nope, that says Freedom. That's already in my thing. Let's try this again. Number 2 is Peacock Gnome. And replacement number 3 will be Dessert Shop. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to pull those 3 pieces out of my little storage closet I have in here, and also the 2 contenders for the Whip of Shame for the month of August. And I will be right back. Okay. So let me show you the replacement pieces first. I already threw them in my basket for whips to pick from for this week. The first one is Dessert Shop, and this is from Soda Stitch, and it'll be a new start for me. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. Isn't that cute? I got it on Etsy. Really like this a lot. And I will be doing it on an 18 count Vintage Country Mocha Ada from Zweigart. So that's what I'll be putting it on. And I will add these to the board after I'm done filming, because I just realized I didn't do that yet. Okay, so there's one. And then the next one is Peacock Gnome. And I just realized I do not have a cover photo. I have the whole thing, so I'm going to show it way back here. This is Peacock Gnome. You can find this on cuteboardery.com. And this is a whip, and this is my starting point for it. Right there. This is stitched on a 14 count Ada. I picked it up at Joann's. It's a roll of the Charles Craft Ada that comes printed. And this is like a blue-green kind of printed fabric. Like I said, these are found at all the major craft stores, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They're also sold on 123 Stitch. They actually have a color name. I don't know what that color is, but if you look up printed Ada, it's from Charles Craft, and you can find it on 123 Stitch because I did find it there. And then the last one is Coffee Gnome, and this is also a whip. This is another cute bordery pattern without a cover photo. So here we go. Isn't she adorbs? And this is another Charles Craft Ada that I picked up at Joann's, and this is just like almost like a milk chocolate, a very pale milk chocolate. And that's my starting point for that one. So those are the 3 replacement pieces for the one I worked on twice and the 2 finishes that I got. Okay, let me show you the Whips of Shame contenders for the month of August, and then we'll pull my pieces for next week. So the first one up to be voted on is an old Dimensions kit. This is Magnificent Wizard. It's a Dimensions Gold collection. Designed by Don Mates, and I got it back in 2002. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm just using whatever came in the kit. Where is my board? Let me put this down here. So it's being stitched on an 18 count. Is it 18 count? Black Ada. Yeah, 18 count Black Ada. And make sure I'm showing you the right direction. That would be my starting point. I did a center start on it, so I've just been working my way out. So that's my starting point for that one. And as you can see, doing 100 stitches a day for the month of August definitely would not make this a finish in the slightest. I almost feel like this would be a hard decision because they're both about the same age and they're both about the same progress. The next one up is an old Jan Lynn kit. And this is called, it's one of their platinum collections. I got this in 2001, so it's 1 year older. And it's called Once Upon a Time. I was looking to see if the artist is on here at all. Oh yeah, Diana Thomas. So that's what that's gonna look like when it's done. And I'm using whatever came in the kit. So it's a 28 count white Monaco. And this is my starting point for that. So as you can see, it's about the same amount of progress. They're only 1 year apart regarding age-wise, you know. This one, I will say, I can work around it, but for some reason, I don't know if it's because I bought this. The only thing I will say about this piece here is that I bought this when I didn't really know about all the fancy things that can be used, like, you know, metallics and blending filaments and beads and all that crap, right? And I bought it new, and I don't know if I got rid, like if I lost the special stuff because I've been keeping it in a Ziploc bag, or what happened, because I feel like stuff went missing because I've had to, luckily they tell you what DMC colors to use, and I've had to supplement with my own DMC. Like I had some symbols that had no, like I have 2 symbols right here that have no floss on them whatsoever. So when I get to them, I'm gonna have to pull from my stuff, my master set, and put floss on there. I'm missing some of the DMC. I am missing the beads, the blending filament, and the metallic thread. I can work around that though. As I figure out what needs to be ordered, I'll just order the stuff when I get to it and I need it. But I'm missing all of the specialty stuff that goes with this, and I'm missing some of the DMC. But again, they do give you the DMC numbers, so that part is no big deal. And I can just order the specialty stuff that I need, or a substitute if I can't find exactly what they're saying I need. regarding the beads and the metallics and the blended filament. So don't let that, I just want you to be aware of that. But you don't have to let that affect your decision. So they're both kind of fancy in a way. So Once Upon a Time from Jan Lynn or Magnificent Wizard from Dimensions Gold Collection. Which one do you want to see 100 stitches a day on for the month of August? About the same age, about the same amount of progress, so no potential finishes for either one of them. One is on Black Ada, so it could be a pain in the butt to work on. Well, not really, but the other one is missing the specialty stuff, but I can work around that. So they are equivalent in my eyes. I have no pull one way or the other, if that makes sense. So comment down below which one you would like to see. I will keep track, and I will also bring it up in the next, because I won't start either one of those until August 1st. Whichever one gets picked. I won't start it until August 1st. So you have until the end of the month to tell me which one. And if you go back and watch it, well, obviously if you go back and watch it, you know the time has already passed. But I will start one of them, working on one of them August 1st, 2024, in case you're watching this in July of next year. And just let me know which one you want. I will keep track of which one gets the most votes. And let me see. Hang on. Where's my calendar? So I'm going to film next week. The week after will be August the 2nd. So you will see, I will probably try to give you an update on the votes. I know last time you guys got to pick, there was a crap ton of votes. It was actually kind of cool. It was really cool. It was really cool seeing how many people were voting. But I will give you an update on where they both are in the running, and remind you guys again of which ones. So please don't vote twice. I'm not gonna, if you vote twice, okay, but because I'm not gonna track it and not count your vote if you vote twice. But you know, don't be that person. Don't do that. Just vote one time. But anyway, yeah, so I will track the votes, and then it will be a surprise as to which one will have about 100 stitches on it in 2 weeks, because I will work on it that Thursday, and then I will film on Friday before I start stitching for the night. So it'll have like 100 stitches. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a long one. I've stopped twice now, so I have no idea how long this video is. Okay. Let's pick my pieces for the upcoming week. I'm going to, again, pick 10. We'll see how many I actually work on. First one up is Summer in the Village. This is a whip from, where's it from? Summer in the Village is from Stony Creek Collection. Right? Yeah. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I am doing this on a 28 count even weave in the color, I don't know who dyed it. I got it on 123 Stitch in the color African Daisy. It's wrinkled, which is normal for me. That's my starting point. There's a dab, there's a dot of ink right there that came from the people who cut the fabric. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm only pointing it out so that someone else doesn't point it out to me. I am aware that there is a dot of ink on this fabric. It's also up here too. the way it was folded when I saw the dot when it was folded. It's also back here on the edge too. So I think that yeah. But I was impatient. I did not email them and let them know. I'm not complaining about it at all. I did not leave a bad review. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. What I'm actually kind of wondering is if my stitches, because there's going to be a border thing down here, I'm wondering if stitches will cover that up. So that's why I'm really, and if they don't, I don't care. But that's my starting point for that. I don't know where I'm going to work on it. Like if I work on this, I want to work on it, but again, if I do what I've been doing the past few weeks and I pull out pieces that could be potential finishes, I will probably work on those as a priority. And then I have my whip of shame, and then I have my challenge piece and my sow. So it's a toss up as to if I work on these larger pieces. I just found a screw that came out of the chair that I'm sitting in. I hope it doesn't fall apart on me while I'm sitting in it. Okay. I gotta figure out where that screw came from so I can put it back, because that would suck. Okay. Number 2, Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure, mine. Okay. So this is a sow from Cunning Cross Stitch. It is no longer available. He took it down when he started his new Stitch Your Own Adventure, which is the Middle Earth sow. So if you like Lord of the Rings, you would like it. Anyway, so I'm doing this 3 times. I'm doing one for me and then one for each of my kids. This one is mine. So I'm doing it on a 16 count Aida that I did not too bad. I got the look I was going for, but I've seen it was a coffee dye that I did, but I'd never dyed anything before, so I didn't really know what to do. I just kind of soaked it in coffee for like hours on end and then rinsed it out. And I got the look I was going for, so I was happy with it. But this is my starting point. Oh, I didn't even show, I can't really show you a mock-up of it because I can't, it's a Stitch Your Own Adventure, so every piece is gonna look different. That's why I'm okay doing this 3 times. But this is a mock-up of the parchment outlines. And, so I have the outline for parchment 1 completed, and then I did the outline for parchment 2 last year. Last year my goal was to get the outline for this parchment and this parchment done, which I did. And then when I pulled it out the last time, so far when I've worked on it this year, I've been working on chapter 2, which is the Quidditch match. So I will probably continue working in this parchment to get my Quidditch match done. Okay. If I pull out, because what I usually do when I film is I do my filming, and then as my video is like exporting and then uploading, I update my board, and then I throw all the pieces back in the basket. So if I pull something that has already been done, I'll just set it aside and pull a new one. Just a heads up as to why I might set something aside. Okay, next up is Norwegian Quaker flag. And I want to say that I've already started this one. I have Norwegian Quaker flag and the US Quaker flag. This is from Bivsters. Oh, I pulled the right one. This is from Bivsters. There's been a huge stitch along going along this year with these flags. And like so many people are doing them. I'm doing 2 of them. Well, I plan on doing 2 of them. I've only started one of them, this one. I'm doing it on a 36 count vintage country mocha Edinburgh linen. I hate linen, but I needed the linen for the size because I wanted to get this thing smaller than like a fat half of fabric. And I'm doing it over 2. So I guess I could have done it on an 18 count Aida, but I really wanted the linen look. Like I didn't want the, I don't know. I could have, it's whatever. So vintage, wait, what fabric? What color? Yeah, vintage country mocha Edinburgh linen, 36 count. That's my starting point. I gotta double check in Pattern Keeper. It is Pattern Keeper compatible, and I gotta double check on if this is right set up. I feel like it is though. It looks like it would be. But that's my starting point for that. Hey, hey, Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. You wanna come say hi? Come here. Come here. Oh. Say hello, Mr. Whiskers. Oh, is my baby. Gracie's on the back of the couch, sleeping. Is my baby, though. He always looks mad, and he's not. Let me give him some lovin's real quick. Hi, baby. Who's a good boy? Say, hey, Mr. Whiskers. All right, get down. Oh, you got cat hair all over me now. Okay, let me put this back in the bag. Is that cat hair? Yep. I had cat hair on my forehead. Okay. So there's number 3. Let me put this over here. All right, number 4. Sunflower mandala. I know I've pulled this, but I do not remember for the life of me if I got a start on it. I feel like I did. I think I did. This is from Kitty and Me Designs. Did I start it? I did. Kitty and Me Designs, Pamela Kellogg. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It calls for DMC and then a Kryonic braid number 4 in the color Antique Gold, which I do not have, but that's okay. I don't need it right now. I'm doing it 2/2 on a 28 count white Monaco. Let me try folding it so it's not completely uneven. I don't feel like, because I've only done a few hundred, oh my God, now I've got cat hair everywhere. I've only done a few hundred stitches on it. That's my starting point with it so far. So I will probably try to work on that, that's the very center. I'll probably try to work on that sunflower and get as much of that done as I possibly can. So there's that. The downside about having a long-haired cat and then, you know, petting him like that. Now I'm like covered in cat hair. Okay, number 5. Year of Gnomes, August. I have not started this one. I do not believe. This is a sal that I had joined and miserably failed at a couple years ago. I want to say back in 2020. It's from Cross Stitch for Everyone. No, I have not started this one. It's from Cross Stitch for Everyone, and she put out a gnome. I think now on her Etsy shop, it's called Gnome a Month, and that is what August will look like when he's done. Isn't he adorbs? Ooh, I love him so much. He's a big watermelon. He's so cute. He will be a new start. He's only 8,300 stitches, 8,327 to be precise. And I'm going to do him on 28 count white Monaco 1/1 full cross. I have May completed and I started, I think it was, what was it, June? So August will be a new start. Okay, number 6. Calendar Girls June. That's done, so that can go away. Okay, try again. Number 6. Beach Getaway. I pulled this piece last week and I did not work on it, so it's in this bag back here. This is from Charting Creations, right? Yeah. Let me find it on Pattern Keeper. And it's an image from Shutterstock. It's 325 by 490. I have my tablet locked, or else I don't feel like unlocking it and then messing with the screen turning around on me, so, or else I would like flip it like this so it's bigger, but that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. Go away, ring light. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. I did an upper left-hand corner start. If I actually work on this, I will convert this to a diagonal since that is my jam right now. And I'm doing it on a piece of China fabric. Some fabric I got off AliExpress. That works just fine for my full coverages, and that is my starting point. So I will convert this into a diagonal if I actually work on this. I say if I actually work on it because I pulled it last week and I didn't, so. Number 7. Mountain Cabin. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Dominic Davison. Got regular size max color. So it's 725 by 518. It has 238 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I've seen a lot of people working on this and it's so pretty. And I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugana. And when I pulled this out, I want to say maybe in the spring or something, I had started converting this into a diagonal. So it's a massive parked threads because there's a lot of confetti in there. So I will continue working on the diagonal if I work on this and getting it to where it's like a straight up diagonal. Because I love the diagonals right now. I fell back in love with them. All right, number 8. It's like weirdly dark outside. It's like it's still light, but it's getting really dark at the same time. Family Vacation. This is another whip from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's another piece that I'm doing on the China fabric that I got. And here it is. It is artwork by Amy Stewart. It is regular size max color, 700 by 469, has 237 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point. And again, upper left hand corner start for most of my stuff. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. And again, another piece I will convert into a diagonal if I work on it. Number 9. Oh, Star Spangled Swine Farm. This is a whip that I started at the beginning of the year from Hands On Design. I got it as a kit from a subscriber. There's like 3 patterns on here. I'm doing this one right here. And so I got it as a kit. It's on chalkboard, a 16 count chalkboard Ada. I think it's a 16 count. Kit includes 14 count chalkboard Ada. Hi Gracie. Oh, she's running away. Okay. And it's got a mixture of DMC, Classic Colorworks, and wow, hold on. Here's my starting point with it. It's a mixture of Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and DMC. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. That's my starting point. So it was a new start earlier in the year, and I'm curious as to how many stitches I'll get on this thing, because when I did a start on this, like I had all these big goals and stuff back in the beginning of the year, and I knocked out 1,000 stitches in one day on this. It was so easy to stitch on. Okay, is this going to be number 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, last one. I hope it's a good one. I hope it doesn't suck. Year of Gnomes, June. Hang on. Where'd all my gnomes go? So this is what Year of Gnomes June is going to look like from that same one I was telling you about from Cross Stitch for Everyone, a gnome a month. And this is a whip. I've started this earlier in the year. 1/1 full cross on 28 count white Monaco. That's my starting point. Right? That is June, isn't it? Yes. So which one's this one? Oh, I was trying to figure out which one this one was. That's April. Okay. So I've got my 10 pieces. None of them are going to be finishes. Wah, wah, wah. None of them will be finishes, but I would like to cross stuff off on my board. So if let's see, is there anything I'll be able to cross off on my board? I'm doing a quick once over. If I work on, nope, hold on. If I work on my Harry Potter stitch along, I've already worked on that. Oh, I've worked on it in June, and that's when I started working on chapter 2. So if I work on that one more time, I can cross that off my board and get a replacement piece. Mountain Cabin is another one. Norwegian Quaker Flag is another one. Sunflower Mandala is another one. So, and Year of Gnomes June. So if I only worked on those and not the other things, so we'll see how this week goes, because I still have my Hade Sal and my Honeymoon Sunset that I need to work on as well. But I will definitely work on at least one thing so we can cross it off the board. So yeah, wah, no finishes this week. There ain't no way in hell that any of that's going to get finished. But I would like to be able to cross some stuff off my board. So this year I'd like to try to get through, like work on as much as I can, like work on as many of my projects as I can, but also be able to put some okay progress into them by working on them 2 times. That's why I have everything set up the way I do. But I want to try to get through these. Next year will be different because it's going to be a smaller number of whips to pick from with larger goals. So I've got to set everything up differently, which again, I will go over in my plans video once I kind of hash out a couple more details. And because I got to work out how I'm going to do new starts and which new, stuff like that, and get my projects sorted. But I think I was working out a lot of it last night. So next year will be more about like the year of progress is what I'm dubbing 2025 right now. It's going to be the year of progress, where I won't work on as many whips, but I will get more progress on a smaller amount of whips, a good chunk of progress on them. But right now I'm just like, let me just work on stuff a couple times and just like be able to touch as many things as I can. And so 5 potential pieces that could get crossed off the list depending on if I can get to them or not, plus my 100 stitches a day on Bless's Nest, plus the other 5 projects that I have not touched yet this year. So it's like that's kind of where I get into my dilemma, where it's like, well, if I do these 5, if I work on these 5, then I can cross them off my list and replace them. But these other 5 I haven't worked on at all yet this year, so should I go ahead and work on those? And then I have my challenge piece with Honeymoon Sunset and my Hate Cell, and I really need to work on that so I can try to get a lot more progress on that. So it'll be a surprise, but I'll work on, as usual, as per the norm. I say one thing and then I'll do the opposite. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments section down below. And if you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. I try to do an update every week right now. And so take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.